Bastin here, and I'm somebody who spends their time in a number of different geographies. I'm actually shooting this video now from Britain. I was brought up in England, and you can probably tell from my accent that's the case. But I also spend a lot of time in Africa and a lot of time in America, and in particular Irvine, California. And the reason for this video is I'd like to shoot a review of a fantastic local business which can really help you out if you ever have a water damage problem and you want to have that resolved. Now, these are the guys. Their website is on the page in front of me here. It's Emercon H2O.com. They're not immediately obvious from searching on major search engines like Yahoo, Bing and Google, and that's the real reason why I wanted to highlight them to you. I'm planning to move to Irvine, and when I get there I'm definitely going to be using these guys at the first sign of any water trouble at all. The reason why I'll explain to you in a moment, but it's hopefully a way of helping other people out if they're in a similar position to where I could be, living in Irvine, where there's a huge kind of flood or a plumbing failure, some major problem where I have water damage or drywall issues and I need them fixed. So that said, here's the group's website. The first thing to explain is they're actually part of a bigger organisation called Emercon Construction Inc. So if you see Emercon H2O and Emercon Construction Inc., it's the same group ultimately, but Emercon H2O is the water damage specialist division of the broader Emercon group. So looking at this individual website, very professionally done. As you can see, there's an emergency service number at the top which will link you up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that's the first sign of a really good company. They're there and they're contactable 24/7. The other thing is, if you go to the bottom of their website, they've got a number of customer testimonials. Now bear in mind, these are on the company's website, so there's no kind of actual way of knowing they're genuine. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting they're not genuine, but it's much better to find this information from third-party sources, as I'll show you in a moment. But these guys are superb. Now let's just go through what else they do. Looking at their Google Plus page, and as you can see again, it's very professionally done. They are a verified business, which is really important to know. So when you hire them or when you call them, you're not going to kind of be given a contact number or an address where you turn up and there's nobody there. This is a bona fide company, established. There's a picture of their offices there in Anaheim, in California, and they do specifically focus on the Irvine area. So that's good to know. As I said before, open 24 hours. What I really like about them is they are contactable and they're out there on lots of review sites. So we've got Yelp, Foursquare, Merchant Circle, Judy's Book and City Search. The last two I'm not so familiar with, but the first three absolutely familiar with, and Yelp in particular is really, really important. Now, the reason I like Yelp is because the reviews on there are moderated. So in other words, they're checked to make sure they're genuine, and the consumers on Yelp are pretty honest. So if there was a problem with this company, we would know about it. But by going to the reviews here, I've just picked two random ones. There are others. But Guy A from Fullerton, California, who says, with my house finally in escrow and sale date less than a month away, what could go wrong? Ironic. A failed plumbing issue that ruined hardwood floor in a master bedroom along with the drywall. So this poor guy, who ironically is called Guy, about to sell his house, and then suddenly this disaster happened. Potentially the sale could fall through. And what does he say? The garage ceiling had collapsed and it was a complete disaster. I was under a deadline and I stressed out completely to get this done on time and done right to satisfy a picky buyer. So this is, nightmare scenario. And he's given these guys 5 stars, and let's just understand why. So he conveyed this challenge to Dante, and he assured me it would be done on time and done right. After asbestos abatement, mould abatement and other hurdles, his crew got cracking and finished the job 3 days before the deadline. So let me just clarify there. What this person has experienced is an organisation which has met his deadlines, in fact exceeded them by 3 days, and done a hell of a lot more work than he thought had to be done, namely this mould removal, which you normally get with water damage in hot areas. If you live in California, that should be fairly clear. And asbestos removal as well, which is another sizable job, and they managed to fit all of this in way in advance of when it needed to be done. That's the sign of an outstanding company. Now, I don't Yelp often, but this performance was worthy of kudos. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. And then this other one here, Steve M from Villa Park in California, recently had Emercon come in to repair some bad water damage resulting from a broken washing machine in our second story laundry room. So again, that's a disaster because the water is just going to cascade through the house, causing a ridiculous amount of damage. So all told, we had 5 rooms plus the garage impacted. That's virtually the whole house. So I cannot say enough good things about the level of professionalism, service and response Emercon provided. You know the restoration job is good when you look at the repair and you cannot even tell anything was ever damaged. I'm about as picky as they come. The drywall work was perfect and the custom colour match in all the affected rooms was spot on. Right, well, again, that's pretty unequivocal. And bear in mind, these reviews were in 28 January and 3 March, so relatively recent as well. It's not as though these are years old, as you sometimes find on Yelp. So overall, a really, really top company. I would thoroughly recommend them just on the basis of these views. The reason I wanted to put this video together, as I said before, is because these guys aren't as kind of apparent as some of the other water damage businesses out there when you search on the major search engines, and they should be, because they're really, really outstanding. They've got lots of internal reviews, they've got lots of external reviews. They are contactable, thoroughly worth getting in touch with if you have any water damage issues. This has been Luke Bastin. Thanks for listening.